Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Jay Scott Ascension. Tonight, I have a very special guest with me, the wonderful, the patriot, Miss Lori Spencer. She is a journalist and a radio personality and the American correspondent for Maverick News. She's also the co-host of the Strange Bedfellows podcast. The links to both of which will be in the description. And she's a veteran reporter and anchor with more than 35 years of experience in print and broadcast newsrooms. Her work has appeared in numerous daily and weekly newspapers, magazines, and online news portals, including Yahoo News, Counterpunch, Truth Out, This Can't Be Happening, and Op-Ed News. She can be seen regularly as a guest commentator on one of my favorite shows, The Kim Iverson Show, and the mother of all talk shows with George Galloway, for those of you viewing from the UK. Lori is a JFK historian who has devoted decades of study to the John F. K. presidency and is currently a volunteer on the 2024 presidential campaign of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And that's actually how we got connected. So today, we're going to be discussing, as you can guess, why you should care about RFK Jr.'s run for president. We're also going to discuss the history of the CIA in Ukraine. I'm also going to, touch on some of the history of their possible influence in Turks and Caicos, what they've done in Jamaica, and also Haiti. Just briefly run through that, and then also finally, I'd love to dive into the topic of how we know, or how we can be reasonably sure, the CIA did have something to do with the JFK assassination. So thank you so much for being with me today, Lori.
Thank you for having me, Jay. It's a pleasure.
No, thank you, thank you. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So when I first connected with you, you let me, or I think I figured out from your profile that you self-identify now as a libertarian. And that was one of the things that caught my eye, because RFK Jr. is running as a Democrat, not a Republican who's considered more on the right. And as I got more into the campaign, I realized it was bringing in Democrats, Republicans, libertarians, and even self-described communists who I had never actually even really spoken to, before I got involved with the campaign. So with that being said, Lori, why do you think the RFK Jr. campaign is attracting such a wide range of people to it?
Well, I think that Bobby speaks for what I think is the vast majority of Americans out there who are neither left nor right. We know that more than half the country doesn't even vote at all because they're that disgusted by politics and the whole phony left-right paradigm. As you mentioned, I've been in the media for 35 years, and I know a lot of the tricks that the media employs to divide us, to turn one camp against the other, to turn left against right, to keep us fighting amongst ourselves and distracted from the bigger goal and directing our anger where it should be directed, and that's at the government. If we're busy fighting amongst ourselves, that works out great for the government that wants to silence us, suppress our rights, destroy our country. We can't fight them if we're fighting with each other. And I know that Bobby gets that. And that's one of the key messages in every speech, in every interview that he gives, is that we've got to bring this country together and heal the divide, as he says. Because I think, most of us left to our own devices would get along just fine with each other. If we sat down and had a beer, if we had dinner, if we took our kids out to play together. I'm so old. I grew up in a time when nobody knew what their coworkers' politics was or their neighbors' politics. Nobody cared. Nobody asked. If they liked you, they liked you. And it didn't matter if you were a Republican or a Democrat. We could all agree on the basics that we wanted a healthy economy. We wanted a good job market. We wanted the country to thrive. And it didn't really matter. We could disagree on politics, but we didn't hate each other for it. We didn't
Exactly.
fight
And I
over it.
think, mhm.
Yeah,
No,
like
you're
we do
right. And,
now.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's actually one of the, key points like of his campaign. And I agree with you 100%. Not only is he encouraging people to come together, but he's also really breaking down the core of the conversation. And
Mm.
for anyone who's been following him, recently last night, you might have noticed he went to the border
Mm.
over in Arizona. And that's a perfect example of a topic that should not be divisive
Right.
because I'm an immigrant. I came to this country legally, and I'm now part of the country. And every country across the globe wants to know who's coming in and out of their borders. And it's been
That's right.
turned into such a divisive issue where Democrats call Republicans racist, and Republicans call Democrats idealist, and no one can really just get to the core of it. And most people actually agree we don't want anyone coming in and out of the country, and we want to have smart immigration that helps America achieve its goals. So that's a
Right.
that's a great point, about
Yeah.
why he's helping, bring the country together. He's getting to the root cause of the problems, and he's not just playing division politics like what we see from every other politician.
That's right. And border security, you tend to think of that as more of a Republican issue, a right wing issue, but it's really not. Like you said,
Uh,
it's we can all agree that we want secure borders. We want an orderly, legal immigration process, and we want to keep the bad guys out.
exactly.
We can't just let after you'd think after 20 years of the war on terror and after 9/11 that everyone could agree on that we need to screen everyone who's coming into this country and see who has a criminal background, who might be looking to do us harm. And they're just
Exactly.
coming in unchecked by the thousands and thousands. And it's been going on now ever since day one of the Biden administration.
Hmm.
Trump tried his best. I will say a nice thing about Donald Trump. He really, really tried to secure the border. Our border was much more secure in the Trump administration, certainly, than it is now. And now that Title 42 has gone away, you've
Mm.
seen the footage, you've seen what's going on down there. And what I love about Bobby is he made a point to go down
Hmm.
there last night and see it firsthand, middle of the night, which is the time
Hmm.
when things happen down there at the border.
Hmm.
He didn't just go down to do a photo op in the afternoon, fly in, fly out like politicians do.
Hmm.
He's
Take a
doing
few
what Joe
pictures.
Biden won't do.
Yep.
I think he's really concerned about this. We all should be concerned about it.